Bob, you ready?
Yeah, mate.
Because I already started recording. Alright. Superhero shows, mostly DC, but we gotta talk about Marvel shows because they make good movies.
But shit
TV shows. It's kind of like the opposite of the DC universe.
Feel that.
Alright. So let's talk. I think there's a very smart way to go about this, and I think the very first thing we should talk about is Arrow. Arrow, I think, was what set the stage for what every superhero show can
And
should be. Yeah, just should.
Yeah.
Right? It was dark, it was gritty, it had nothing to do with the source material, they just needed a Batman knockoff character. That's all Green Arrow was. But they ran with it. And it turned out to be pretty decent. You haven't seen Season 5 yet, but... oh man. Season 5 villain, that's how you do a villain. Prometheus is like what you strive for in a villain. He is like on par with Deathstroke.
I love that. Deathstroke, as you know, is one of my
I
absolute
do.
favorite, not just DC villain, but one of my favorite
all-time?
comic book villains, for sure. Love me some Deathstroke. Grew up with him whenever it was Teen Titans. You know, Teen Titans was on. Oh man, it's fucking awesome.
Alright, so, Arrow kind of sets the stage, right?
Yes.
Starts
It was
off
like
very
the
gritty.
first, pretty much the first of the DC
Yeah.
TV
From
shows.
Modern era. I think Constantine usually is considered
actually,
the first,
you're right,
but I
Constantine.
never actually watched Constantine. It wasn't my type of show. But,
I get that. It's actually kind of interesting when you think about it to start off with such a left field character, Constantine being like
I think
dark, you know?
You know, if it's such a left field character, I can kind of see, like, they kind of did what Marvel did, right? Like, Iron Man sure was a big character, but when you think Marvel before the MCU started up, it was not really, you don't think of Iron Man, you think of Captain America. I think more so of the Fantastic Four, actually, for the Avengers.
Spider-Man? I actually didn't really get into Marvel
Until the movies.
with the exception of like Spider-Man, until
Yeah,
until the movies. So.
I mean, Iron Man's always been there. He wasn't as like prominent until the movies. I think the movies have really shot up.
Arrow is like my favorite, for sure, like superhero comic book
So
TV show.
Let's talk about Arrow. So Arrow starts off Lee and you. You have no idea what's going on, and they set up that there's going to be flashbacks, right? And he's gruesome. He shows no
Murder,
mercy.
for sure, hardcore, like bloodthirsty murder.
And it's also that they do a good job of portraying the other side. Oliver Queen. He's back, and like in the very first episode they show, he's back to his partying ways, right? And that's really cool. I kind of sentiment echoes throughout the season with Malcolm Merlyn and The Undertaking. And then I even like how they start off season 2. Season 2 is he can't handle it anymore, so he goes back to Lee. And then we have this entire great setup with Deathstroke.
I actually like season 2 better than season 1.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can't have season 2 without season 1.
True.
So
True.
that's why I like season 1 so much. But you know why I like season 2? Not only is there Deathstroke, and not only is there a really strong storyline of brotherhood and betrayal and redemption, but season 2 is where they introduce a new character that we all might start to like. He gets his own TV show. His name's Barry Allen.
Yeah. Flash season 1 was good. Flash season 2 is pretty good as well.
So let's start. So season 3 of Arrow and season 3 of The Flash start off at around the same time, right? So let's start first with Arrow. It was a weak season.
It was a weak season.
That's the season that solidified. You know what? We don't care about anything to the source material. We're making this a straight up Batman knockoff now.
Season 3 was important though in the sense that a shit ton happened in the plot, and also
What really happened in the plot?
First of all, we learned a shit ton in the backstory. We got proper introduction of Katana. and her backstory, and also where was Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it. I think
I
it's
say
probably-
Raz, but I've
might
heard it
be
both
Raish
ways.
Something.
Because even in the
He-
TV show, they pronounced it 2 different ways.
Yeah. Oliver Queen progressed very significantly through skill level. He was able to surpass Ra's al Ghul, which
You wanna
is
know why?
very, very impressive.
You want to know why I don't like season 3, even no matter what anyone may say? Is first of all, it's a big giant knockoff,
Yeah.
and 2, they never explained how Oliver survives the fall. I gave you some herbs. Great.
Right, that was a little bit.
I think they did it just
hard
for
to-
shock value, right? But then they were like, oh, we don't really have a way to bring him back otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, so that happened. Now let's talk about Flash season 1.
Right. Flash
The
season
twist
1
with Wells was strong.
It was. But the audience knew it was coming though, because we had seen him stand up and walk around and kill people. So we knew he was a villain. We knew he had alternative motives.
And it was an interesting thing to get to the part where he's like, listen, Barry, I've been after you for centuries. I'm the one who killed your mom, right?
I know it was so lit though. It was so absolutely fantastic. Was when the gang, like when Barry Allen and Cisco and that chick who also is like Killer Frost or whatever, Caitlin Snow. When they discover his secret room and they learn all these things about the future, and it's like, oh hey, guess what? You're supposed to marry Iris in the future. Oh hey, guess what?
It's so highlight from season 1 of Flash. Actually, let's go back. Highlight best moment of yours, Arrow season 1. Let's go.
From Arrow season 1? Oh god, Arrow season, that's so long ago though, shit. Highlight from Arrow season 1. Probably. Okay.
You want me to tell you mine first?
Yeah.
I think the entire episode, right? So you can choose like cool episodes or specific parts for your highlight. But for me, the best episode for season 1 was the episode where everyone thinks he's the Green Arrow, so they have Diggle be the Green Arrow while he's in jail, and Laurel starts to figure out that Oliver might be the Green Arrow.
Believe it or not, I think I've come to the conclusion my favorite episode is the Odyssey, which is mainly flashback. Okay, when he and Slade Wilson, who ends up becoming Deathstroke.
But that's just season 2, right?
No, I think it's season 1 because I think this is probably season 1. I think it's season 1 because it was developing him as a character. Yeah, because it's when because they're still on the island and they're still trying to basically escape the island, him and Deathstroke. So
okay, fair enough.
And they are working together, and their chemistry is at an all-time
it's just
peak.
like a bromance at that point.
And actually, what happens is they successfully get the plane or whatever. They successfully are able to go to the command center and get the plane to come down so they can get on and escape successfully. But then it's one of them can't. I think it's Oliver Queen can't get on, so Slade literally sacrifices it and stays with him. And it's that we learn this is where these characters used to be in each other's hearts.
Yeah.
They work together so well, and actually goes to show Oliver Queen's intelligence, because it was actually all him that the plan succeeded. It was obviously Deathstroke too with taking out the men, but he was able to, because it was you needed a call sign for the plane, and he was able to pull it straight out of the book The Odyssey, which is why, and it related to him. It's about a boy trying to get back to his house, man trying to get back to his home.
Alright, season 2 of Arrow. Highlight.
Season 2 of Arrow, probably when Roy is hooked up to the Mirakuru machine, and they release him, and then he goes crazy and tries to kill Speedy and stuff like that. Or maybe whenever he's in his full Deathstroke gear and takes over the transit bus full of prisoners, and it's understood that he's about to literally take all of them and make them his henchmen. He's like Mirakuru henchmen, and he's about to go from a one-man army to a several-man army. It's like, whoa, it's about to get super crazy.
For me, I've got a top 3 here. It's Oliver in the entire episode when Deathstroke kidnaps his sister. I think that was just true.
Oh, yes!
Stephen Amell portraying like the right range of emotions to feel if your sister gets kidnapped, right?
And then also he's like, the episode ends with a massive cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll tell you about your brother's big secret, or no, your mother's big secret.
No, the secret your brother's been hiding to for
and
years.
Then
it happens to be like Merlin's
is actually your biological father.
Yeah. So actually, that leads into my second one. My second big highlight is at the end of the season when Thea's in the train station and Merlin just bursts through and starts killing people. I was like, yes, this is what Arrow should be all the time.
Actually, gonna have to go probably with when they watch their mother die.
Yeah, actually, that was my last one.
That's gonna have to probably take the cake for it, because then it's like you have Oliver has seen his father die in front of them. And he has seen
he was the exact cause of why his mother died. Yeah. All right, season 3 of Arrow highlights, if you have one.
Season 3, probably when it's a one-on-one battle on the bridge between Oliver and Ra's al Ghul.
So like last episode kind of deal?
Yeah, last episode, or maybe actually a tie between when they're fighting shirtless in the snow on top of the snowy mountain,
right before. So like a good fight scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know, sadly, I don't like Arrow season 3 so much that my favorite moment has to be when the Flash comes through to save their lives. Which is the saddest thing you can say about a TV show when another TV show character has to come to save the day.
You know what's actually really good about that scene is it goes to show Merlin's wit, because he was able to literally save every person in that room by walking up to each one of them and secretly putting like a tag like on their skin. Like, can you imagine, like, think about Diggle and think about Laurel and all the training they've had. How do they not even like feel him like putting that thing on them and like saving their life? That was actually, I was really impressed with Merlin.
So now we've also started with Flash season 1. Highlight from that season.
Season 1. I know what my season 2 would be. Season 1. Yeah, earlier we talked about this. Probably whenever they're all discovering the room. Yeah.
I think
because it was also a race against time, because they knew he was coming down the hall. But it was like, so many answers. I just need to ask her so many more questions. But it's like, tension was building. He was coming down the hall. There was so much they were learning at the same time.
It was, you had to pick it. You know what my favorite was?
What?
It was, so Barry Allen, this is the first time Barry Allen learns he can time travel.
Oh, when him and Iris kiss. And
but that's not my favorite part. My favorite part is when Cisco finds out about Wells, and for the first time Wells does the thing
and
where
Wells
he like
kills him.
Yeah, he phases through him and pulls at his heart.
Shit, that was super awesome.
That's my favorite. That's like my highlight of the Flash or Arrow, like top highlight right there.
That was actually really lit. So probably top 3 moments of season 1 was when they're discovering the secret room. Whenever he's right before he time travels for the first time, and like kind of when he does time travel for the first time, because like he makes out with Iris, and it's like a big like successful moment. She finds out that he is the Flash, and then
but then he goes back in time and undoes it, and it doesn't work out the same way he was expecting.
Yep, and that causes a lot of problems. He gets punched in the face by her fiance. It's so funny. Oh man, and then what you said earlier about when Wells kills Cisco. That is so nice.
Alright, Arrow Season 4.
Arrow Season 4 was weird. It went to the sort of mystical side. That introduced Vixen.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like they never wanted to go to the mystical side, but then with the Flash and everything, they felt like if this is happening in one show, it has to kind of carry on for consistency. So they had weird things happen. Yeah, I can't necessarily say that, for me at least, that I have like a top highlight for something that I remember. I love the guy who plays Damien Dark. I'll watch him in anything he does. I thought he was a supreme villain. I love the villain Damien Dark and how they portrayed him. But I couldn't get behind Oliver in that season. It's like, very stupid. My favorite moment would probably have to be when Damien Dark paralyzes Felicity or kills Laurel.
Kills Laurel. I was gonna say that. Like, when you realize that, when you really actually realize there is no way she's coming back.
Yeah.
She is not coming back. Now, obviously,
she's gonna come back. She's been confirmed as a Series 6 regular.
Okay. I do know that the actress will be in the show in season 5 because, like, obviously, spoiler alert, she acted as some acting in Flash season 2 as an Earth 2 doppelganger. And then I think I saw a trailer for an episode in Arrow season 5 in which the Earth 2 doppelganger shows up and acts like she's Earth 1 or whatever, and that goes badly. So I knew that was gonna happen because I ended up actually accidentally seeing the trailer for that episode. But yeah, when she dies and you know that it is definite, she is not coming back at all. That hits you hard because she was on like fucking pilot pretty much, right?
Yeah, she was.
And she's been such an influential character. More importantly, not only has she been a very influential character, she had grown so much.
Yeah, there was lots of character development. She went from being like a goody two-shoes to being an alcoholic for a period of time, redeeming herself, fighting for her sister, finding her sister again, training to take her sister's place, dealing with the death of her sister a second time,
and having to like come up with the best way to tell her dad. When would be the best time to tell her dad? How would she bring it to her dad that her sister is gone again, and this time for sure? And then she does come back, but then when she does come back, she's nowhere near the same person.
Yeah.
And then she does go back to being the same person, and then they like write her out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Alright, Flash Season 2.
Oh my god. Flash Season 2, I absolutely loved the Earth 2 version of Wells. Such a great character. I love that actor, and I love how witty and assholey he was in this season. He probably, I guess you could go as far to say that he even made the season, because he was just fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic.
I feel like they copped out with Zoom. Like at the end of it, I feel like they copped out with, I was been pretending to be the good guy the entire time. I like to give people hope before I take it back from them. That's just, I get it. He's a sociopath. The episode explained that really well. He has sociopathic tendencies, but I couldn't get behind it.
Okay. Second favorite part of season 2 was actually the introduction of King Shark.
Okay, I'll agree with
I
that.
was like, dude, this is fucking lit. Oh my god. I actually really loved what they did, like the animation where he was like this giant half human, half like great white shark, and he is just like massive and like a huge heavy hitter with like these super sharp teeth, and he's got like great sense of smell and is like super strong and all kinds of shit. And then there's that one cop chick who's just been on a date with Barry, and she like just starts shooting him with her gun, and then that does like nothing to him. And then that's also the introduction of Earth 2 asshole Harry Wells, who is like, and you're like, what the fuck? Well, the audience knew that there was some kind of Wells character already gonna be back in the show, because we had seen from the very end of the previous episodes that was gonna happen. But when Barry sees him, like, what is he thinking? How is he reacting to this?
Grant Gustin does a good job of portraying those emotions.
Yeah.
So before we move on, because we can't move on to Flash Season 3 and Season 5 because you haven't seen them yet, there's one show, actually there's two shows that
we haven't talked about.
Legends of Tomorrow has started. It's not that great of a show, at least Season 1. Season 2 was much better. Have you seen it yet?
I have not. I don't know if I plan on doing.
I actually highly recommend Season 2. much better. And also, Supergirl started on CBS.
I actually heard that is the best CW superhero show.
Ooh, Supergirl is a show. It's very cliched. It's very melodramatic.
And then I know they introduced Superman.
Yeah,
So that's probably gonna change a shit ton of things.
it really didn't. I started it. Wasn't in it for much. The big thing though was it's very cliche. It's very it's very corny. It's like someone took Felicity from the earlier seasons when she wasn't just some sort of hack goddess, but made like terrible jokes and gave her superpowers. And that's not like a dig at the show or anything. I think the show could use better writing, but Melissa, the girl who plays Supergirl, she is great. The guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, great.
Who's-
The actor or the character?
who does Jimmy Olsen play? My bad.
Jimmy Olsen is the character.
Oh, fuck. Never mind. Have you seen any of Gotham?
I
First season?
tried to watch that first episode, couldn't get past it. It's the same thing that happened. I know it's much better now because they focus on the villains. I can't get past it. And it's kind of the same thing that people tell me about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that it's a much better show now. And I have no doubt that it isn't because like they've already announced that they've gotten permission to rename the next season Agents of Hydra instead. So everything that's going on in the MCU. But I can't get behind it because that first season was not so great. And my theory has always been that if you're going to get me hooked, and if you're going to say you have a great show, then it better be great from the very beginning.
Season 1 of Gotham I thought was very good. Very interesting takes on a lot of the villains, a lot of new villains too. They actually had like an origin story for Scarecrow. The Penguin's a very interesting character, and overall season 1 was very good. I started watching the first episode in season 2. And I actually couldn't finish it. I literally stopped watching, like halfway through.
Like me with Daredevil.
Daredevil was good. Now, if we want, we could talk about Daredevil.
We're going to talk... So we're running it right now
Iron
at
Fist,
22 minutes. So we're going to talk... I think the next thing we should do is talk about the last DC show on our list, which is Powerless.
Powerless. Okay,
I will explain the concept to you because you haven't seen it, but I will give my review of at least episode 1.
Okay.
Which I've heard that the entire season is pretty much so far just like episode 1. And we will talk very quickly about the Netflix shows.
Okay.
Alright, so Powerless takes place DC Universe, but in basically kind of like the DC movie universe, which is weird. And it's a show about Vanessa Hudgens working at an insurance company, Wayne Insurance Company. And they deal with superhero attacks. That's pretty much it. And it's worse than Supergirl. That's all I gotta say about it is it's not a good show.
Okay.
Don't watch it.
I haven't seen it, so I'm just gonna take your word for it. I'm not gonna watch it. Let's talk about Netflix shows. I've seen the first 2 seasons of Daredevil, and I've seen the entire first season of Iron Fist, and I saw the pilot of Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is batshit crazy. There's so much going on.
Okay, so let's
Holy
talk about...
fuck. I got a little fucked up actually.
Let's talk about this, because we have a little differing viewpoints on these shows.
Okay.
So let's start off with Daredevil Season 1. I hate the Daredevil show in general. I don't know what it is. You know, some things give you a good vibe, some things don't. I can't get into Daredevil. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because of Ben Affleck, and his image is still burned into my head. But I know the fight scenes are supposed to be great. I can't get
Yes,
into it.
okay. Some of the fight scenes are really good, dude.
Like, I love that hallway fight scene, but I can't get into the show.
Okay.
But I did get into Jessica Jones. I binge watched the entire thing, and I loved it. And I was with Luke Cage up until, I think, episode 6 or 7, and then I just lost interest. I don't know what happened. I was interested, and then snap, I lost it.
Okay. Probably one of the good things Daredevil has going for it is the fight scene's true, but it also has an interesting contrast in it of itself because not only is there a lot of action and whatnot, but then there's also the law aspect of it, and that's pretty apparent.
Would you say they
in-
focus equal amounts on vigilantism and him living his day-to-day life?
In season 2, I would say yes, because a lot of it is devoted to Matt Murdock and his company. They actually are the defendants of the Punisher. Whenever Daredevil, literally same dude, he fights against Punisher, then they fight together. He ends up turning in the Punisher. Punisher goes on trial, and Matt Murdock, same dude, is his defendant. They spend a shit ton of time and energy into like defending him, and it's actually, they start off, it's like they are pretty much going to be destroyed, but then they actually do such a good job that they have a fighting chance, and then like fucking all the way from prison, Kingpin ends up sabotaging it and getting him to go to, like, I'm not trying to spoil it or anything, but ends up not working out for them, and so but then yeah, there's a good amount of lost stuff too in season 1, so it's actually a really nice contrast.
Right.
Iron Fist, what do you think?
Iron Fist, first, I know a lot of people said it, first off the bat, Green Arrow knockoff. The beginning, the premise, a little bit of an Arrow knockoff.
Okay, I can see that with the origin about getting stranded in like a Chinese or like Asian area, and then learning like martial arts through that, and then coming back as a billionaire.
I think they really, really stretched out this whole everyone not believing him thing, and I also think they stretched out how stupid he is. Right, like the entire time he's acting like an idiot.
How so?
There's multiple better ways he could have gone about like trying to reach them other than being like a stalkery kind of guy.
Okay. I do agree with you in the sense that they dragged it out a bit too long about people not believing him. I think he had a couple smart moments, like for example, he knew to go and search for J-Money and get her on his side, and when he did that, that would
But see, there's a difference between a show having a protagonist with some smart moments, but a lot of dumb ones, and a protagonist.
Sorry,
I don't know if you were telling me something.
No, it wasn't. My eyes are just a little fucked up. Anyway, please.
Or a show with the protagonist having a lot of smart moments, but very few dumb moments. That's what I would prefer. And it seems like Iron Fist did not have that many smart moments.
I think it kind of, we learned a lot more about the Hand, which is going to be sort of the main villains of Defenders.
My biggest thing with Iron Fist is that they had a lot of different ways they could have gone about it, but the way they went about it, were like, because like each Netflix show has their own particular style. They could have
Jessica Jones is like batshit crazy, but their style.
Like, that's a very gritty one.
Yes.
Luke Cage is very, very like 80s, 90s nostalgia, right? Daredevil kind of represents the modern times.
And it also kind of represents the balance between good and evil.
Yeah. But we're talking about more like time period style.
Okay, yeah.
Iron Fist had this great opportunity where they could have done like an homage to old kung fu and karate movies. And they missed. I think that's a chance they missed out on.
Another thing, I'm just gonna loop back very quickly. Daredevil had some very good characters. Like for example, not only were they was Punisher and Elektra very good characters, they were also complete and total badasses.
Yeah.
That were fun to watch and also great allies,
But
and sometimes the opposite, enemies to Daredevil and their relationship with Stick and Stick's relationship.
there's no one like that though in Iron Fist, right?
Well, the girl he ends up falling for.
Okay,
is,
she's a decent-ish character. I know she starts.
She kicks ass, dude. Whenever she's in the cage matches,
Yeah,
those are some of the best scenes.
but I'm talking about more okay,
Are those two?
who's the guy that he went back for that was in charge of the company? It was a brother-sister combo. Who's the
Yeah, it was Step Brother. I don't remember his name though. Oh god, he was a very interesting character because he ends up.
I think he was a very bland character. He looked like an '80s henchman with slicked back hair and everything. I get money is a powerful motivator, but I want something a little bit more substance.
But you know what I really enjoyed about his character? He was very flawed in the sense that he had addiction problems, but then he is able to work up enough. He ends up killing his dad,
Okay.
and that was, I thought, a very like transformative moment, and like a very good, like, good for you, dude. Like, way to evolve that way, because he was like oppressing him so much, and then obviously things ended up going badly as a result of that, because then he started becoming a psychopath, the father. But yeah, that's kind of things I learned right there.
I think we're out of time. We're at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here to talk about DC TV shows.
Of course.
If you like this video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike. Subscribe for more content and to see this beautiful face all over the channel for the next few weeks. Other than that, leave a comment if you got anything you want to say, and one of us will reply back. That's pretty much it. Do you have anything you want to say? Closing remarks anything about TV shows?
Well, I think when it comes to Marvel TV shows, I think we all know the Netflix original series
Are much
definitely
better.
the way
We're
to
not
go.
going to even talk about the Agent Carter fiasco.
We're not going to talk about that. We're definitely also not going to talk about too much about
Agents
of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then, what was the other one you hated?
There.
Powerless? Powerless?
Powerless is DC.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah. But don't watch Powerless. But, yeah, thank you for watching this video.